When I first started trying out sketchbooks with 100% cotton paper, I got this one and it actually says high percentage of cotton. We don't even know what the percentage of cotton is, but I wanted to show you how the water tends to sit on top of the paper. You don't actually see it get absorbed, and you might end up getting blobs like this. Now, if I were to put some paint on top, you would be able to see it better where the paint is not going inside, instead it is just swimming around. Now, this is really the mark of paper that is not 100% cotton. You will not see it move as much, and if I were to remove some of that excess paint or maybe even spread it around to create that sheen, you would often still see that it is just a little bubble here and it doesn't really go into the paper as much. Now let's do a comparison where we are going to now use 100% cotton paper. And right here we have done some tests, we have answered some questions from our Q&A. I wanted to do a demonstration to show you how the paper actually absorbs the paint. You can see while I am putting a sheen down on the paper here, I'm just wetting the sheet here and then adding in that color. The color actually moves and gets absorbed in the paper a lot more, and there is a lot less puddling in comparison. You can see that over here, exactly where I have dropped the paint onto the paper, it would just settle on that spot. There is a lot less traveling. I can move as well, but it would mostly stay in this region. However, here you can actually see a lot more fluidity. So I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. Use a different color and you can see the difference of how it travels and it moves on the paper with that really nice soft diffusion. So the paper really matters a lot. Paper is literally just one piece of the puzzle, because I have also used sketchbooks where I use 100% cotton paper, and still another thing that I noticed was the texture. Now over here with the texture, I found that because the texture was so much smoother, I felt like it was way more fun to do mixed media techniques as well, because somehow it did not give me that softness that I was able to achieve because of the texture of the paper that I love inside of Bao Hong. So from the demonstration, another thing that you are not going to be able to see is how paper stays wet a lot longer on cotton as it takes time to absorb into the layers of your paper, in comparison to paper that is not 100% cotton, where you can see that the paint mostly sits on the top. Now if you think about it, cotton, just like your t-shirt, will soak in, while when it is cellulose paper, which essentially is plywood paper, it is just going to sit on top, just like how water would run off a tree or a branch. Very minimal amounts of water actually gets absorbed in. Now paper is really one part of the puzzle. The bigger piece is truly timing, because when you start to think about your brush as a way for you to do more than just applying paint, but picking up the right amount of paint and water in order to touch the paper that is drying at different stages. I know I might have said way too much, but all of this is so important, because when you start to marry all of these things together, you begin to get a symphony of colors blending and bleeding, and you get the right amount of control without feeling like your painting is just spilling all over the place. This is exactly what I do inside of our mini workshop From Blobs to Blooms 1.0, and I would love for you to check it out. The link is in the description below. Now, if you are ready, I can't wait for you to take a look at this painting that we are going to be doing. Watch me as you sit with me paint. Don't forget to also sit down with your supplies, get to know your paper, the way it dries, and start investing in paper that truly matters, even if it's in your sketchbook. And don't forget to stick around, because at the end, I want to talk about another process. I want to share something that me and my kids did while we're in Bali, this really fun creative project that led to one of these. I can't wait for you to see it. Let's get into today's episode. Alright friends, I am just getting my space ready. I have been spending a couple of days actually making time to paint, which I'm really happy about. Grabbing some of my supplies, my kids are in the pool, and I really like this momentum where I am just, I don't know, making time to do a little painting. In fact, this is actually inspired by one of my members inside Brush Movement Collective Community. Her name is Laurie. Shout out to you. She has been such a wonderful member, and she has been sharing so many of her paintings, and I just really like that she is so intentional. She just dives in, and I thought, why not? So I have my reference here ready, and we are going to be painting this one here. So we've got our paper towel. Oh, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this game. I brought this game and the kids really like it. It's a game called Chongkang. And you basically take the marbles and you travel, and then you see who has the most in their own houses at the end of it. My cups are here, so let's do this. So this is my travel paint set. I don't need two of them. One of them is for my kids. And then I've got my paper towel. There we go. So I've got my setup, my brushes, and my reference. So I've got my paper kind of wet. I like to start off with a really wet surface. Then while it's starting to dry up, I basically grab my paints and try and mix up a shade or something. Then I start going. The nice thing about painting wet in wet is that you can get so many beautiful effects just from the softness of the... One of the things that I struggle with is painting flowers that are downward. It's almost like harder to get the perspective and figure out the different angles. So I'm kind of in the first stage of my painting. This is the stage where I'm just exploring how I want to use the space. I like to mist my paper just to wet areas. I'm noticing that at this stage I have a lot of space that I've not done my greens, and you know, I always find that greens are kind of optional. I like to mix up my own greens. That's something that I enjoy doing. The nice thing about everything being soft and runny is that you get to this space where there's just so much possibility with the colors running into one another. Let me just bring you up close to where I'm seated so you can actually see how that looks like. I am just in awe. This is the first layer where we haven't added in layers yet, but you know, it's really where we get to decide also if we want to add in layers